Welcome to the My Brother show with Maurice Bresh. I am your host, Maurice Bresh. Welcome, guys. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. I know I usually would have some nice, cool song playing right now, but because last episode it looks like I got a little bit in trouble with Facebook for doing that. I'm trying to figure out a way around that. So you guys get to see me at the start of the episode now instead of like some random song playing. But welcome, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I see a couple people are watching already. Thank you guys for watching. I see a few more people are joining. Thank you guys for joining. My mom is here. Hey, mom. I tell you every episode, my mom's always the first person watching, and I'm sure if I wasn't live in about 30 more seconds, that she would have been right on my case, saying, "Where are you at, son?" So thank you guys for watching. And also, we got right here back, my man behind the scenes, me back here. I was having tech difficulties with my computer for the past few weeks, but
I got my job back.
my man, my man behind the scenes, me is back here. Giving help out and just shout out to him. He's a really bright kid. So this week is the first. As I mentioned at the end of last episode, this is the first. This is the first time I've had literally the same guest returning for an episode. And last week, we talked about fatherhood as in regards to the hospital, in regards to the pregnancy, in regards to step parenting, in regards of losing a child to death. And we talked about fatherhood and all those aspects. And I wanted to kind of tackle it from the other side now and talk about, what it looks like to be dating as a father. How do you introduce your kids to your new significant other? How do you feel about your significant other your ex, introducing the kids to her new partner? So I want to tackle everything relating to fatherhood and dating. Like, how do you balance that balancing act? So, like obviously I was gonna bring the same guys back, right? So I have my guys coming back, David, Tyrone, and Wap. David actually is running late today. He got a little caught up with something else, so he'll be on a little bit later. But I do have my other two good brothers with me. I'll introduce them again because I know last week we had some tech difficulties and some of you guys might have missed the introductions. So firstly, this is my guy. Um, Man, we go all the way back to Harrison Elementary School, second, third grade, playing in recess. Man, we worked together at various jobs. Played games with him. Like he called my mom. I call his mom. He's a bartender. He is probably one of the more artistic friends that I have. He can sing a little bit. Um, and that's my guy, Tyrone Brown. I'm going to bring him on the screen. Ty.
What's up, y'all? What's up? I can sing a lot of bit, man. I can sing real good in the shower. I can sing real good in that shower, yo. The shower be popping.
I want to hate it, man. I ain't no hater.
Man.
But no, man, I'm glad
That's
that you could do it again, man. I'm really glad that you could come back to the show again, man. It's always a pleasure for me to have my day ones, people that I grew up with come on here. I think it's something that people need to see, right? Like this is what real friendship looks like. Friendship isn't just going out to bars or getting drunk or partying or, chasing girls and all of that weird stuff. Real friendship is like helping your friends support their dreams and build and things like that. So I do appreciate that you took the time out again. For the third time actually, because he was on season 1 as well.
Man, hey, I don't mind this. This is something. This is a good experience. It's a good experience.
I'm really good. And also, thank you again because you made me make discussion questions. I haven't been doing discussion questions this season for anyone watching. Like I've been kind of winging it. And Top texted me and was like, "Can you give me discussion questions?" So
I appreciate that. At least I got my stuff on point.
This next guy, man, he needs no introduction, man. If you know me at this point, you know him, man. He is definitely one of my closest friends, man. This is my guy. I can chat with him about anything from anime to video games to stocks to fatherhood to relationship stuff, man. This is literally my guy, man. And we've only been friends. Probably of all my closest friends, I've only been friends with him for the shortest amount of times, man. But one of our bond is definitely the greatest, man. So without further ado, returning for the fourth time, I believe, my good friend Wap.
Yo, What's good,
What's going
Ty?
on, bro?
What's up, brother? What's
What's
up?
going
What's up?
on, bro?
Man, I'm glad you could jump back on.
Oh man, you already know. All you gotta do is let me know, and I'm there. Like it's funny because my job was like, hey, I need you to fix some accounts at 6:30. I was like, I got a prior engagement at 7. Like,
See?
okay, I'll take care of it. I was like, my man.
Man,
So
I
you know,
appreciate that.
you
I
already know, man. All you
appreciate
gotta do is
that.
let me know, man. I'm here.
Man, that's
So,
super dope, man. And the topic, like y'all know the topics, man, something that we could all relate to, something that's near and dear to all of our hearts.
oh
And
yeah,
something that doesn't get talked about, right? Because I feel like so often we do hear about women and them trying to find babysitters and things like that to
hmm
kind of move on and dating. But you don't really hear about how it feels for a dad, to get
right,
back out there, to get back in relationships and all of that stuff. So I
right,
think it's untreaded water.
right.
And I think that it's something that we could really do that really needs to be talked about. I'm trying to fix the camera so that you can see a little bit more of me. There we go. There we go, right there. Perfect. All right, so without further ado, man, let's I sent y'all the questions. I sent y'all the questions. So I ain't gonna sit there and ramble, but so much about it. Before I get into the discussion, I do want to say anybody watching, if you would like to support what it is that we're doing, any gifts and donations could be sent to on Cash App, my brother. Every gift, every donation is helpful. And it goes to supporting some of the visual aspects that you see, some of the behind the scenes things that you see, or that you don't see, I should say, some of the behind the scenes planning aspects that you guys don't see, and they're all appreciated. And also, as you see scrolling at the bottom, you can follow me on Instagram at the My Brother Show. That's the way that you can follow on Instagram. All right. Let's jump into it. Let me check Facebook real quick to make sure. All right, cool. We did. I'm gonna check Facebook. Last time I was canceled. I want to make sure they didn't get me again. Let's jump into it. So, the first question is I thought, let's set the premise of the episode. What are some stereotypes that you have heard from women about dating men with children?
Sheesh. Deadbeats. I heard that thrown
Mm,
around sometimes. But as far as stereotypes, like it's not even really a stereotype. It's time. Like the one thing I always tell women or whatever that they think that men that have kids don't have enough time for them, or they feel as though they have to. It's just hard for them to see us as being fathers or whatever with kids. That's not one.
Okay. For me, it's you hear the baby mama drama thing.
yeah,
Oh shit.
Um, yeah, like every woman seems to think that because you have kids with a woman that you're no longer with, that y'all beefing.
Mhm.
mm,
I mean, I both of my sons' moms are great moms. Um, they may get on my nerves, but they're great moms. So, what I mean, as far as drama, it's kept to a minimum. Like my sons are older also, which means the relationships have ended years ago. Um, we're cordial. We talk about, what the kids need, what I'm saying, and basically that's really it. So as far as like drama, I mean, I guess it depends on the person, who the person dealt with before, the length of their breakup, the age of the child, you know what I mean? So there's factors. I mean, I would say there's probably more drama for the father, as if the baby is young. But at the same time, a lot of women need to understand that let that man handle his business with
mm,
that baby mom. Like that's their thing. They have that thing, those things that they need to iron out. Let them do that. And then, when he comes to you, he's going to come to you as your boyfriend, not as your boyfriend that has a child.
right,
So,
right,
you know what I mean? I think that's a stereotype that a lot of women need to kind of, like let that go. Let that one go. Um, most men are out here, they know how to deal with their baby moms, even if it's ignoring them. You
right,
know what I mean?
right.
I don't think that's a concern of the new girlfriend coming in or nothing like that. But some women feel like, well, I'm here, so I'm gonna have to worry about him. That's not true.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and it goes both ways, but you know,
I agree, right? So one big one that I hear often, to your point about baby mama drama, one big one that I hear is, I literally just met somebody like last week, and in the first conversation, she was like, "Are you still sexually involved with either of your children's moms?"
That's
So like
another
that's
one.
the first one, right? If
That's
they
another.
believe that you still are like messing around with them in some aspect, and it's funny because it seems like if you're doing like, and we'll get into this later in the discussion, if you're doing for your children, they almost believe that you have to still be sexually involved. Like it can't
Right.
be, I love my kids so much,
Right.
so I'm spending time over here, or I'm going to see them, or I'm picking them up. It's like, oh, you're doing all this extra stuff. You must still be in love with her. Like you
Right.
must still, be involved with her. And it's like,
Right.
oh man, I just love my kids. My kids
Right.
need it,
Right. Right.
I love my kid. I
Right.
was just having a discussion about, someone I dated in the past, and my son, you guys know my son is special needs. So when he has to get dental work done, he has to get put to sleep.
Mhm.
So he had this dental work to get done. They put him to sleep. When he wakes up, I'm over there. Like I wake up at like 7 in the morning. I go to the hospital, and I'm
Right.
at his mom's house like the remainder of the day. I left
Right.
maybe like 11 p.m.
Mhm.
Went home that night, woke up at like 7 a.m. the next morning, and went right back out there. And
Right.
it's like a 45-minute drive for me. And I remember on my way home the first night, like I called my then girlfriend, and
Mhm.
like her first question was, "So what was y'all talking about over there? What was y'all doing over there?" And I'm like, I'm like, I'm like, I'm like, before the insecurity set in, like,
Yeah.
can you inquire about his well
Right.
being first?
Right.
Like before you jump
Right.
down my throat about
How am
what's
I
going
doing?
on.
How's my child doing? Like that's your first question?
Right. Like,
That's
so
wild.
I think that's very much the stereotypes, right? That I
Yeah.
hear. It's like you must
Yeah.
still be sexually involved. I think that they automatically assume that there's some drama involved. I think they automatically assume that you don't do much. That's another big one I'll see. Like, oh
Right.
well, how often do you get them? You must just get them
Right.
every other weekend. So you got
Right.
all the no, like
Mm.
and those are some of the things that I see. Ty, you
Right.
I
look like
heard,
you got something to say.
I
Right.
heard one. There was one girl I was talking to, and she felt like me having younger kids was instantly me looking for a mother for 'em. That was I guess I would call it a stereotype. It was a weird one. I'm like, what? I'm
No. No.
no, like she didn't want to take on. She didn't want to talk to me. She said she probably don't even want to talk to me like that because she feels as though it's too much of a responsibility or something like that. She instantly think I'm gonna put these kids on her. I'm
Yeah.
like,
She did you
oh,
a favor. She
yeah,
did you a favor.
yeah, you're definitely right.
I'm gonna just say that.
Segue into the next question. Ty, the next question I had is, how understanding do you feel women are of your fatherly duties? Like, do you feel like they're more understanding or less understanding? Like, how understanding do you feel like women are of your fatherly responsibilities?
Honestly, I'm seen as like top tier in a sense. Like I'm not experienced a negative effect of it. Like even when that girl, like she didn't say nothing negative, she just put something on her own there. But
Mhm.
every female I've dealt with, they actually see me as a role model. They see me as a good father, because how I present myself anyway.
Right.
But I haven't had not one person say anything disrespectful or even look at me. They commend me actually more than anything.
Okay.
Being a single father. Uh, that's me.
Hey, for me, it depends on the woman.
Mm.
Um, I've when I first had Lil, when Lil was younger, maybe like 3 or 4. Me and his mom had broke up, and we were broken up for like almost a year. So I wasn't really looking, but if I saw a girl with interest, I would express my interest or whatever. And it was this one girl that you know she would always want to go out and do stuff. And I made it clear. I said, hey, I have a son. I'm working 2 jobs to support my son and support myself. So, there's certain days I can go out, there's certain days I can't go out. So she didn't really understand it. So my brother ended up working with her, and she said something to my brother. And my brother was like, yo, like, he got a son, right? Like, it was like it depends on the woman, basically. Like, because I've had other women, and they're, like Ty said, they're very, they're very um
Understand.
understanding. They give out a lot of compliments, and they appreciate it. Some women will start out with the compliments and an appreciation, and then when they see the work that you're actually doing and the time that you're actually spending, you know, they feel some type of way. I try to be as honest as possible and let them know from the gate, listen, my son comes before me. So he definitely comes before you. And I'm just being honest. Like, I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that. But if my son needs and you need, you gonna have to get a plan B.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But at the same time, like Ty said, I make time. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we can't do something during the week, if you want to do something on the weekend, that's fine. But I usually have my kids until 8 p.m. because I don't live with them, at least until 8 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Now, if we plan something in advance, we can do that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have no problem planning anything in advance, but I try to spend as much time with my kids as I possibly can because I don't live with them. You know what I mean? Like I said, a lot of women understand it, especially women with kids. Women with kids that understand it, especially women that have kids where their kid's father isn't as active.
Right.
They're very understanding and they're very appreciative of that kind of man. But you know, like I said, a lot of women get it. Some women just don't. They think it's a competition for time and everything like that, and don't like. That's why I try to let them know beforehand. There's no competition because if you can be competing by
Kids
yourself,
come first. Kids
right?
come first.
My boys come before me. So, but yeah.
So, and I think I share your sentiments, right, Wop? So I feel like for me, I've met women who like have been completely understanding of the fact that
Right.
I had kids, and
Right.
when we, at one point I was getting Reese a couple of times during the weekend, every weekend, and like
Right.
you meet somebody, they're like, "When are you free?" And I'm like, "Never on the weekends." And it's like,
Right.
well, how the heck do you date? You know what I'm saying? If you
Yeah.
can never get away on a weekend.
Right.
I've also met women who are just like, "Oh, well, can't you just find a babysitter? Like, or can't
Right.
you just find
Right.
somebody to watch them?"
They don't
If
understand that. Yeah.
autism or not, with my
Right.
son,
Right. I'm not
finding a
leaving my child with
babysitter would
anybody.
be difficult. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not easy. And then there's another thing of like, so you don't want to burn people out, right? And there are certain things that, like, let's say if I have to choose to use a babysitter for a date night or for, let's say, something work related,
Right.
I want to use the babysitter for the work related thing. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
so I found that some are very understanding, some are very accommodating, some are very much willing to work around your schedule, and some are very much like, well,
Right.
this isn't working. What I will say though, right, is I respect that second approach because you save both of us a lot of time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're pretty much to me saying in that moment, like, you can't handle what my responsibilities are. And in my first conversations with a woman, I'm very clear to say I have two children. They have two different mothers. They require a lot of my time right now.
Exactly.
So, like, I'm interested in you, but my free days are typically this date, this date, this day, and this day during the week.
Exactly.
And if you're like, nah, this not going to work, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? We saved ourselves a lot of emotional investment, a lot of arguing, a lot of all of that stuff. So I'm very okay with that approach being taken. But oh my Jesus Christ. Hold on 1 second. I just got kicked out the studio somehow on my other phone. But whatever.
Well, let me ask you.
I think we might add me to the screen.
So do you feel as though, well, fellas, do y'all feel as though there's a difference between, like, me personally? I guess I've been dating a lot of women that honestly have kids already, so that's where I learned that is the understanding coming from. Single women, I haven't met too many yet in that late, like with that. But do you? I mean, not single, women without kids. But do y'all get that kind of slack with women that have kids too?
I've never dated a woman with a kid before, so like I mean, I've only been in 2 relationships in my life. Anybody watching? Nice. So with that being said, one was with my son's mom, and then one was with my ex-girlfriend. My ex-girlfriend didn't have any kids. My son's mom, obviously, we had him together, but that's another episode. But outside of that, most of my involvement with women have been like, the occasional date here or there, but it never really blossomed so much outside of that because of the schedule. But I found that it's been my preference to meet women with children for 2 reasons. One, the understanding aspect that we were just talking about, right, Todd? But 2, typically they're busy too.
Right.
So they don't require as much.
Right. Right.
They don't require. They're not like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I want to go out. They might get 2 times a month. I might get 2 times a month. So
Right.
that's my preference. Now, I don't close off the door to a woman without children. I would never meet a woman without any kids and
Right.
be like, oh no, I don't want to date you because you don't have any kids. Like that's not what I'm saying.
Right.
But my preference is to date with children. Wap, I know you want to chime in on that too.
Um, I'm in a relationship right now, and my girl has kids, and honestly, like you said, I kind of prefer more, um, I kind of lean more towards women with kids than women without kids, and it's basically because women with kids understand the time aspect. You know what I mean? You know, I have to take my son here. I have to pick my son up from here. I have to do this with my son. I have to do that with my son. You know what I mean? Like they understand it, even if it's just I'm going to pick my son up to bring him back so we can just play PlayStation for a few hours. Like my girl was like, okay, just text me when you're done. You know what I'm saying? Because she understands, because she has kids. She knows, that quality time. She knows the kind of dad that I am as well. Not to say that a single woman wouldn't understand. I don't think she would understand to that level. You know what I'm saying? I think that a single woman would get it. I think she would try to empathize, but I don't think she would fully understand, that time aspect. And I understand that. Like I would never, like I'm not closing the door off to any. Well, I'm closing the door off to every woman because I'm in a relationship. But if I'm
My
single,
God. You're home, bro.
Leave monogamy.
hey man, listen, it's too much of a headache, but that's another show. But yeah, man, it's I think single women have every right to be stingy with their time because it's just been them all this time. And I understand it. And like y'all both said, when a woman can come at me, outright and say, hey, that's a lie. I don't think I can deal. I respect that more than anything. Like, let that be a lesson, ladies. Being upfront with a man is the best thing you could possibly do.
Yes, man. Don't have me
The
guessing.
best
Just
thing
tell
you
me
could
straight up.
possibly do. Be who you are from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't say, "Oh, I understand," and then 3 months later, you complaining about
Right.
time and you complaining about this and that. Be your genuine self that first time. We respect it. We love it. You may think like we don't like it, but let me be the first to tell you that these three guys right here appreciate it.
Oh my God. I think almost
Appreciate it.
80 to 90% of men do. Any man want that. We just went straight forward. That's it.
Just be straightforward. Just be straightforward. You know what I'm saying? If it's something you can't deal with, that's fine. We can try at a later date or, not at all or whatever. If it's something you can deal with, that's great too. You know what I mean? That straightforwardness does go a long way. But yeah, man, I definitely, from an understanding aspect, I think it's definitely better for me, in my experience, to be with somebody that already has kids.
Yeah, and that's my preference. And again, I think
Yeah.
women without kids are great. Another reason
Oh yeah.
I
Answer.
try not. Like, I don't want no more kids. Like I know I don't want no more kids. That's another reason that like when I think about women without kids, I'm kind of like, yeah,
Right.
because you
I,
might
Right.
I agree. I agree.
have no more than that. Let me preface that with I am not selfish enough to come into a relationship knowing that I've made two kids without you and
Hmm.
deprive you of that. I'm not
I
that
am.
selfish.
I
Now,
am.
I'm not that selfish to come in. You're a little older than me, though, bro. So I get
True.
it.
True. True.
Yo,
I'm,
I'm not
I'm
that
very
selfish.
upfront
Yeah,
though. I'm very
I'm not.
upfront
I'm
about
in
it.
the middle.
Like
I'm in the middle. I
at
said,
40,
yo, you
bro, I
got 2
might be that
years.
selfish. But at 32, I'm not that selfish at 32 right now.
I
So
feel
I'm
you.
open about the idea of
I
having
feel you.
another kid. But I
Mm.
can guarantee y'all, I am not doing separate households anymore. Like I done the
Yeah.
separate household thing
Yeah.
already. Like so
Yeah.
if I reproduce again, you got to love me. We fit to be engaged in the same, well, engaged, married in the same roof in the same
Right.
household.
Right.
Because I can't do the two separate household thing again.
Yeah. I'm.
So that's
I'm.
what
I'm
I'm
through with
saying
that.
with it. But that's
Wholeheartedly
another
agree.
reason I
With
feel
that.
like, women without no kids. I'm like, dang, you don't want another kid. But yeah,
Right.
I tell them, man, like, you got to love me. And I've talked to single women,
Mhm.
especially in their 30s without any kids. And
Right.
a lot of what I hear from them is I try to avoid men with kids because I like my time. Well, we're at the age where people might have grown kids now, though, too. So they
Yeah.
either say like, without younger kids or with grown kids because I like time. And I think that's fair to say. You know what I'm saying?
Very
Like,
much.
to your point, Wop, like, I think it's very fair for you to say, I'm single. Like, I don't have any kids to care for. Like, if I'm with someone, I want to spend time with that person.
Right.
I think that segues into my next question, right? And so the next question is, how do you determine to bring that person around your kids? Because like with me, when I was with my ex, I met my ex at church, so she actually knew my kids before we got into a relationship from just me having with me at church. So I actually brought her around my kids very quickly. But if that wasn't the circumstance in which we met, where like she met me when I had my children with me, I don't know when I would have, you know what I'm saying, made that move. So like I will say that once I was comfortable with her coming around the kids, it was a lot easier for us to spend time together. Because you know what I'm saying? Because now I don't got to plan a date around a babysitter. I don't got to, plan a date when I don't got them. It's like, oh, well, look, like, let's come over. We could take the kids to the park, or, we could take the kids out to eat, or we could go to, Sky Zone or something like that, where we're still spending time together. I'm not throwing the kids on somebody else. I'm not as stressed out. Because ladies who are watching, I will say this: finding a babysitter is tough. Like, it's a stressful process. You're trying to plan a date, and like we've all been victims of finding that babysitter that you drop them off at 5 o'clock, and at 7 o'clock, the babysitter calling you at 7, like, well, what time you think you're gonna be back? And you're like, So I think when I think of bringing the kids, like, back to the question, how do you guys determine when to bring someone around your kid?
Go ahead, Ty.
Well, for me, it's different. I'm actually not in the place to do that. Like, I'm actually just, I'm not in the dating with a purpose right now. It's just dating.
Right.
So for women to bring around my kids, it's literally, I had 2 women interact with my kids, and it was completely on some accidental thing. Like, I had to do some work for one of the girls I was dating, and I did work on a car, and she met my kids through that. But other than that, I don't let no woman or anybody meet my kids. Only person that's gonna meet my kids is a person I'm actually serious about, like marriage material.
Right.
Other than that, right now for me dating, nobody meets them. Nobody meets them at all.
Right. So for me, it was basically the same thing. Since having Lil, I've had 2 serious girlfriends. One is Kyle's mom. The other one is the relationship that I'm in now. So with Kyle's mom, I don't think she met Lil until we were together for like almost 2 years and about to move in together. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, she seen pictures. She heard me talk about them and everything like that. But once we moved in together, that's when I was getting them every weekend, and planning and stuff like that. But like actually like be around her, it like I said, I don't until I consider it serious. I don't really bring my kids around my girl. Definitely not around nobody I'm just dating. You know what I'm saying? Somebody I'm still unsure about. Like, they'll know I have kids because I always I'm never denying my kids for nobody. I don't care who you are. And I will quickly let you know, I have my kids. You know what I'm saying? I can't do this tonight. I got my kids or whatever the situation may be. But I mean, I've dated a few females that, know I have kids, but they haven't seen them. You might have seen a picture or something like that, but they haven't like physically seen them. So, what I mean? It's the severity of the relationship for me.
Yeah, you just stayed that thing 2 years. That was enough for me.
I struggle with it primarily because Reese is special needs, right? So part of me feels like I would hate to invest the time into someone and then they meet Reese and that's something that they can't handle, right?
Right.
But then the other side of me says, like, what you guys are saying, like, unless it's super serious, you shouldn't get there. But it's a struggle for me. So I honestly don't have a straight answer for this. Like I said, my ex saw the kids at church all the time. So when it was time for us to like spend time together, I had no problem with it. I will once the kids are. I have no problem, and this is a me thing. Like if my kids are asleep, if you want to come over and watch a movie or something like that, that's fine. Like I'll close your bedroom door, like so you can come over in their presence.
Right.
Well, not in their presence, but like after they're in the bed or something like
Right.
that. Or
I know.
even if you just want to pull up and I go outside and talk in the car and
Right.
things like that. And try to be accommodating in that level.
Right.
But I kind of
Right.
struggle with like when if and when well I was gonna say if because I'm not even sure how I feel about relationships right now. But even when I get back into a relationship
I ain't mad at
with someone else, I know I don't know exactly when I will make that decision
you.
to bring them around because part of me is kind of like you can save like I said earlier, you can save me a lot of time if I introduce you to Reese and you're like, it's something that I
Right.
can't deal with. That's
Right.
fine. I respect it. Like it's a lot of
Yeah.
work to deal
Right.
with Reese. I
Right.
don't hide that it's a lot of work
Right.
to deal with. But
Right.
I would rather that come out very early on
Right. Then you
than to come out
fraud
very
and wait
late.
6-9 months,
Right,
a year.
exactly.
I got you. I
So
got
what
you for
I
sure.
do early on in the conversation, early on when like I'm interested in someone, I will talk to them while I have him with me on the
Mm-hmm.
phone so they can hear,
Mm-hmm.
kind of somewhat see what it takes. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
like, and I
Right.
found that saves me a lot of time because sometimes if you can hear him like grunting or moaning or start to whine or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, or you can hear how patient I am with him, and I
Right.
express, listen, if we get serious, if we get married, like my kids become your kids as well. So
Mm-hmm.
everything you hear me doing right now is an expectation that I will hope that my future wife will uphold. You know what I'm saying? So like in the absence of me, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
expecting you to hear from them. Obviously not at the same level because it's not your kid, but at a
Right.
similar level of
Right.
safety and
Right.
gentleness and calmness. So
Right. Right.
I don't know if there's a time frame, but I do think that like once you're serious about someone, like obviously dating is I think you're cute, you think I'm cute, let's see if we're compatible. But like
Right.
once you start to recognize like there's some compatibility here, like I'm interested in something long term,
Right.
somewhere in that function, you should take the
Right.
time to actually like meet someone's children. That would be my guess. And then I think it also varies based off of age too, right? So
Yeah.
I think
I was
I
about
think
to
it.
say the age of the kids.
Right.
like I think
That's a big point too.
right,
With Kyle and Lil being a little bit older, it's still, it's definitely easier for me to introduce my 18-year-old son to anybody that I'm messing with. Because he's
right,
gonna be like, oh, hi, and he's gonna keep it moving. You
right.
ain't gotta really interact with him. You ain't really gotta do too much with him.
Mhm,
But
Mhm.
with Kyle, who's also autistic, he needs a little bit more attention. One, he's 11. Two, he's a daddy's boy, just like his dad, just like his brother. So, you know what I'm saying? And it's funny because a lot of women don't really understand that my sons are daddy's boys. Like, I've had teachers say to me, oh, it's usually girls are girls are daddy's boy. That's funny, Tosh.
right.
It's usually
Yeah, man. This is my family, man.
that is funny.
This is my
That
family,
is
man.
funny. But I usually hear that, oh, girls are usually daddy's boys, boys are usually mama's boys. So, when they see the closeness between me and my boys, they understand. Like, I'm very overprotective over my boys. So, even now, I don't really leave Kyle with anybody. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm running to the store, he can go to the store. Like, I don't really go nowhere anyway that the kids can't go. So if I'm running to the store, I take Kyle with me. Or if Lil was there, I'll tell Lil, hey, Lil, keep an eye on your brother because their bond is similar to the bond that I have with them. You know what I mean? Like they see each other. They may not see each other for, a week or 2 weeks, Lil working now and everything like that. But when they see each other, it's like their bond is crazy, which I love. But yeah, man, it's the age of the kids definitely matters. And again, what the female is willing to deal with. So I don't think there's really a time limit. But those particulars matter. What you about to say, Ty?
Oh, what you said, like when you said time limit, like the one thought that popped in my head was when you even said the 2 years. That
Mm-hmm.
literally popped in my head when I thought of it. Like honestly, I don't know why 2 years or whatever, because my kids are small, maybe. And like you said, if my kids was older, different
Mm-hmm.
story. But
Right.
I had an incident where my daughter was asking me, "Is that my new girlfriend or anything like that?" And I don't want them kind of moments to happen, like
Right.
her to think that this person is, close, whatever. And then when
Right.
she find out she ain't even in my life,
Right. Right. I mean, That's
Yeah, and I've dated women who have like grown kids, like late teenager age
mm,
kids, and like literally the first date, like the teenager will open up the door and be like, "Oh, mom, your date's here," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like, or
right.
like the thing I was dating a girl one time, and she asked me to put an air conditioner in her window, and like
Mm,
her son who was like high school age let me in. I was like, "Hey, how's it going, man?" And she was like, she upstairs. So I think that for older kids who are a
mm,
little more understanding of what
right,
relationships and things
right,
are,
Yeah.
right,
it's a little quick.
right,
You might be a little like,
right,
whatever, they get what's going on. But like my daughter is 4. So
right,
like when
right,
like my daughter and my ex-girlfriend were like this.
right,
Like
right.
so like when
So
we broke up, that was something that
right,
I
right,
struggled with talking to her from
right,
a father standpoint,
right.
like I remember vividly, I was riding around when I was going somewhere with my daughter, and she was like, "Daddy, where's your girlfriend been at?" This is like right after we broke up, and I
Right,
was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, and
right,
I'm sitting here, like, and I
right.
went to call her, and she didn't answer the phone, and I texted her. I said, "Hey, Arian asked about you," and she didn't respond. And I'm
Mm,
like, "Oh my goodness!" Like,
yeah,
like
yeah,
wow, I
Kids pay
see. Like
attention.
this is tough.
dude,
Like,
kids pay
it's tough
attention.
for me, to tell her like, Daddy and Miss So and So are no longer together, so
Right,
you won't be seeing her as much. And then
right.
like I was at an event a few months down the road after we broke up, and
Mm,
I had my daughter with me, and she was there. My ex girlfriend was there, and my daughter like remembered her. My daughter remembered her by name,
mm,
like was playing
right,
with her and stuff. And I'm
right.
just sitting there like, man, like
Yeah,
like it's just tough. Like
yeah,
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's tough, and I think that from a fatherhood standpoint, to the comment that India makes right here, this is out. And from a fatherhood standpoint, I feel like you also often hear conversations from the mom who's saying stuff like, oh, we broke up and I had to tell the kids he's not coming on around. Or I introduced the kid, to this guy, he's not around and hurt the kids. Like it's tough for you as a man
Yeah.
to come back
Mm-hmm.
and tell your kids, like, nah, it didn't work out with Miss So and so. And then to kind of have that conversation that
Mm-hmm.
teaches my 4-year-old doesn't understand, compatibility and stuff like that. Like on a romantic aspect, all she understands is, when Miss So and so was over, she played with me. I had fun with her,
Right,
like,
right,
what
right.
I'm saying? I like to play with her. Especially my daughter is in the household of women. She got 3 sisters and a
Yeah,
mom over there. So
right,
like, it's
right.
nothing but women over there. So like she connects with women a little bit more than men just because that's who she's around more often.
Right.
So that's been a tough thing for me when I think about it. I'm like, man, like I don't want to have that conversation with Arian again no time soon.
Right, right.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I
no
feel that.
time soon. You know
I
what I'm
feel
saying?
that.
So it's a struggle. It was even a struggle for me to bring my daughter around my son's mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the big thing for me as
Yeah,
well too. Like the
yeah.
first time I had to do that, and like her son and my daughter are siblings, so like
Right.
I'm in a connection there. So there, the first few times I went to drop my son off to his mom, I would just like leave the car engine running, run up to the door with him, and let her stay in the car. And then I
Mm-hmm.
kind of got to the point where I was like, no, like I want with my son being special needs, right? I want my daughter to know that if something happens to daddy, you got to look out for big brother.
Mm-hmm.
Like big brother is special. He's different. So if something
Mm-hmm.
happens to daddy, you got to care for him. So I need you to be around. I need you to see how daddy cares for
Mm-hmm.
him
Mm-hmm.
so that, you know what I'm saying, in the event that something happens with me, you're able to pick up and you
Mm-hmm.
understand what it is. So like it's tough though, making that determinant factor. And
Yeah,
another thing is, bro, it's no blueprint.
at all.
There's no blueprint.
None.
It's
None.
Like
not
you
not
don't
at
have
all.
no practice
And
with this item.
it's that listen, it's no blueprint. It's definitely not talked to in this detail, especially from a male perspective. Um it's definitely different. Like you said, when it came to introducing Arian to Jazz, it was the same thing. I was nervous introducing Kyle to Erica. Like
Right.
me and Erica wasn't together for like 11 years. And I'm like I had to catch myself like, dude, what's she gonna say? You know what
Right.
I'm saying? But she saw him and she spoke to him and everything like that. And she like there was never any animosity or anything like that. And the same thing with Kelly had already of course met Lil before Kyle was born. Um but it was it was never nothing, nothing bad or anything there either. So I definitely understand what you mean when as far as introducing Arian to Lil Reese mom. So
let's flip the switch here. So let's talk about the other side of it. How do you feel about other men being around your children? Tyler already got mad. Look at his reaction.
Ty got girls. I'm gonna let you go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So I experienced this actually, and I experienced it on a way wrong note. My kids are introduced to. I'm not gonna get into the situation. It was a bad situation, but they was introduced to a dude that came in on a bad situation, and me knowing that I was caught by surprise because of how I found out. Because I got my kids, and they tell me about the bull, and they know his name and everything. I'm like, who is this dude y'all talking about? And find out it's mommy new boyfriend or whatever.
Right.
So I guess for me, just because of that situation, it was just so hard for me to even get used to it. I could never get used to it at all. It bothered me. So everybody gave me advice. They said, "Oh, it shouldn't bother you, whatever." But it really did. It really affect me because I feel as though it all depends on the person. Like if it was just a new dude, some dude that I didn't have no ties to, whatever, or anything like that. I that's a different story. I guess with that situation, I don't care. I would want a part of me does want to know if you are going to introduce new people to our kids, but I know in the real world it's not our business, like at all.
Right.
So
right.
What happens or not, you can't say nothing about it. You can't change it if it doesn't happen. And like Mel, I'm gonna say honestly, it's my Mel pride in me that really feels some type of way about it. But other than that, I know realistically, I shouldn't feel nothing about it.
I disagree.
I
disagree.
That your pride makes you feel some kind of way about it. It's very fair to say that, in my opinion. Go ahead, Wop.
Bro. I feel like you should feel some type of way. One, you got girls.
That's what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, and I didn't get on that one.
Right. You know what I'm saying? For me, I told Kyle's mom, you know what I'm saying? I told her, I said, I don't think you're a bad mom. And I don't think you'll have anybody around my son that's going to do him any harm. Now, I also explained some other things that I probably can't say on here because it might be indicting later, but you know what I mean? Like, that's my boy. I love my boy. If something happened to my boy, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, I've indicted. It's over.
Bro. So, and I had the same conversation with my oldest son mom years ago because she was, "Oh, who's your girlfriend? I want to meet her," and blah blah blah. And I had to have a conversation. I was like, "You want to meet her for what?" Well, I want to know who's gonna be around my son and blah blah blah. And I said, "Listen, you are a good mom. I am a good dad. You know I'm not going to have anybody around my child that's going to hurt my child intentionally. Just like I know you're not going to have anyone around my child that's going to hurt my child intentionally." So that's kind of where, like, once I said that to her, we clicked on that level, and we never had to have that discussion again. She ended up meeting somebody, and I never was like, "Oh, I want to meet him, I want to talk to him, blah 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 blah." That's not my business. What you have going on in your house is in your house. As long as my child don't get hurt and nothing don't happen to my child, I could care less. Now, if something happens to my child, again, I'm not going to get into details because we don't want to be indicted. I don't want to get the show canceled. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm very overprotective. And it's crazy because there was a situation my son he was wilding. Lil was wilding. He wasn't listening. He was getting smart. And, as dad, you're the disciplinarian, whether you in the house or not. So I went over there and, I don't do disrespect. You're not going to disrespect your mother. You're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to disrespect no adult that's not telling you to do anything you feel is unsafe or dangerous or going to cause you any kind of harm or discomfort or whatever. If they're not being mean to you or being disrespectful to you, you're going to show them respect. You're a child that's an adult, flat out. So, he was younger. He was maybe like 10 or 11, smelling himself a little bit. Feet start stinking. So, he was getting rowdy with his mom. So I went in there and I told him, I said, "Yo, first of all, what you're going to do is you're going to apologize to your mom and you're going to apologize to Mike. which was her ended up being her husband. And I beat him. You damn right I beat him, because you're not gonna be. We don't do that. We don't do disrespectful stuff. Not just because you feel like you can. You can't. And I told Mike, I said, Mike, listen, you know what I'm saying? I understand that, you are the man of this house. He's a child. Don't let that boy disrespect you in your house where you pay bills. You know what I'm saying? And I told him, I said, if you got the jabbing, but don't keep it reasonable. You know what I'm saying? Keep it reasonable. I'm not saying black his eye. I'm not saying bust his lip. I'm not saying kick him down those steps or nothing like that. But he honestly came to me. He was like, when it comes to discipline, I leave it up to her because that's her son. I said, I respect that. If I said, since that's the level that you on, and I respect that level. If he disrespects you, call me. Please call me. Because I'm not going to have him disrespect you in the house where you pay bills. He damn sure not going to disrespect his mother. His mom break her back to do whatever, whatever she need to do to make sure he get whatever he need. So we not doing that. And that's basically, you know what I'm saying, how I feel about that. As long as, I trust, like I said, I trust my son's moms to use their brains when it comes to bringing someone around my kids. Now, I understand sometimes when the heart activates, the brain dims down, and sometimes we make bad decisions, and I understand that. Just know that there will be consequences. If somebody touch my child, somebody getting hurt. Bad.
So I think I agree in a sense with a few things that you said, right? So I recently, I want to say like last January, I sat on a panel for it was a panel about breakups and separations and divorces, and one thing I said was divorce was like, I'm teaching my kids to know, like, whomever your mom remarries, he's the man of the household, he's the leader of that household, so you can follow him. So I wholeheartedly agree with that aspect of it. I think the overlying like theme that we have together is, if it's a serious relationship, we're fine with it. Like, in essence, I trust you. Well, I trust your judgment. Do I get afraid that you may repeat some of the toxic aspects between our relationship with the next guy? Yes, but that stuff is out of my control, right? You know what I'm saying? All I ask is that you leave physical discipline to me, and that if you guys are going to get into a dispute, that you guys don't do it around my kid. That's literally all I ask. Like, and I know that's tough to say.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
I know that's really tough to say, and I know that's something that I probably wouldn't even know about. But that's all I, because that's something that the respect that I had for my children when I was with my ex, I would not argue with her in front of my kids. When I was with my son's mom, we would not argue in front of so I hope that, their moms continue that respect when the kids aren't in my presence, because I just don't want them exposed to what I had to see growing up, right? Watching my mom and dad fighting on. So those are my two requests. Other than that, have at it. I will say, like, if it's somebody that you just sleeping with, like, keep the
Don't
kid.
bring them in the crib. Don't bring them in the crib.
Like, you can, even if you want to wait till they sleep, if you want to bring them over, wait till the kids with me, if they're going to come over. Like, I had heard a story of something like that happening, one of my kids being around somebody that their mom was just messing around with, and I'm like, if it was just a fling, you know what I'm saying, can you not do that? Like, if you just flinging, go ahead and have all the random sex that you want. Just
do you
right? That's not what the kids should be exposed.
Don't have my kids involved.
I'll tell you, that is tough. Like, how do I know? You know what I'm saying? How do you know? Another thing I will say that for anybody watching it, it's a lot easier to move on if you're not still having sex with the mother.
Very true.
Children. It's a lot easier
for both parties.
For both parties. They'll be more accepting of you bringing someone else around, and you'll find it's a lot easier for you to deal with if you're still not dibbling and dabbling and sneak flirting and sneak having sex. A lot of the issues come because you're halfway in and halfway out. And I had a one-on-one session with a guy a couple of months ago who was telling me about a situation with his daughter's mom. And the first thing I said with him, I said, "Yo, are you still having sex with her?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You got to stop that." I was I was like,
Yeah.
85% of what you just complained to me about is because you still having sex with her and
Right.
she's not
Mhm.
sure what your
Mhm.
status is. So yes, she's going to complain about other women being around because he was just in a bed with her last week.
Right.
Like,
Mhm.
like,
Right. What do
like
you do?
yes, she's gonna be mad that she with somebody else because he was just having sex with her 2 weeks ago, bro. So
Exactly.
like, that was like a legit point that I had to make with him. So that would be my advice to mother and father. Like, if you guys are going to be together and you guys are going to work through your problems and your
Work 'em out.
troubles, go
Work 'em
to
out.
therapy, get a counseling, make a commitment. I don't care which party cheated. I don't care who did who wrong. Both people got to work their asses off
Right.
to make that thing work if y'all
Right.
want to get through it. And if y'all not going to be together, be apart.
Yeah.
Men, there's a million other women out here who will have sex with you. Woman, there's a
There's a
billion
million
other
other
men out
guys.
here.
Right. Right. Right.
Woman, there's a billion other men out here who will have sex with you.
Right.
So,
Right.
don't be so locked into that person that you're compromising your peace of mind. Peace of mind. I just said this on a panel a few weeks ago. I'm at the point in life where my peace of mind is number one priority.
Listen.
Like,
I
before
agree.
sex,
I agree.
Listen.
before anything, being at a state of peace is my number one priority. So if I have to turn down sex with you, sis, or sex with that mom, or sex with that girl from up the street in order to remain in a place of peace, so be it. You can call me gay, you can call me whatever you
Whatever.
want to call me. I
Whatever.
don't care because I'm going to sleep at night. I don't got no lock on my phone. I ain't deleting no text messages.
Right.
I ain't hiding out from nobody. I'm not looking over my shoulder when I walk through the market. I'm
None
not
of that.
deleting comments on my Facebook posts. I'm in
None of that.
such a place of peace right now because I don't have
You a
any of
grown
those.
man. You a
You
grown man.
want to say something?
Uh-huh.
Ty, look like you want to say something.
Oh no, I was saying you a grown man. I agree with what you were saying, and then bring back to what y'all was just talking about with the whole discipline thing. I have a story for you. So long story short, a guy popped my kid. This happened to me. Same guy actually. We was going through custody situation, whatever. So one day I had my kids over and he told me that the dude popped them. Now I know kids. I had to really sit down with myself and realize, like, all right, maybe my kid's not, maybe he's not meaning something, whatever. So I asked the mom about it. She denied it. She got smart about it. Come down the line, come to find out it did happen. It did happen. And that's what affected me with the whole discipline thing. Like what you were saying, wow,
Right.
that's a big gray area for me. Like as far as another person physically disciplining, and that's why I signed with Reese on it. Like to physically discipline a child that ain't yours. Like I don't even do that. I don't touch nobody, kid, whatever.
I don't. Yeah. I mean, so my current girl, not to cut you off, my current girl has kids. And I treat her kids like they're my kids.
Okay.
Anytime I'm in a relationship with a woman and she has kids, I'm going to treat her kids like they're my kids. And now, if you have some special, like, so messing with Kyle's mom, she had 2 daughters. So yes, those are my 2 little girls. I'm gonna take them to the playground. I'm gonna fix them something to eat. I'm gonna play tea party and dollies and all that with them and all that kind of stuff. But there's certain things where I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
Like, it's bath time. Okay, go to mommy so she can put y'all in the bath. You know what I'm saying? Go to mommy so mommy can get y'all dressed. Like I don't like that aspect. No, like that's me. I'm drawing the line there. Those are not my daughters completely, but those are my daughters when it's time to be cared for. My current girl has sons. You know what I'm saying? So, we play, we joke, we wrestle around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We do all that kind of stuff. I've actually taught her oldest son how to drive. I'm taking her middle son out for driving lessons now. You know what I'm saying? Treat them like, and we have all kinds of discussions, all kinds of like, you know what I'm saying? Like in-depth discussions that I think any man should have with a child, whether it be in a family or not. You know what I'm saying? Like just life discussions and stuff like that. Discipline them they're older, so there's really like no reason to, you know what I mean? Like I might talk to them or whatever, and you jab them in the arm or something, you know what I mean? But
also, bro, one thing I will say, not to cut you off, but one thing you got to gut check yourself too, right? So, like,
that
if you inconsistent, if you only popping up every 3 months, you can't
right,
be surprised if the next dude
that
is doing more
too,
than you. You
that
can't.
too,
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if I'm
that
only
part,
popping up 3 months, then I vanish for whatever. If I'm inconsistent bothering, then yes, it's someone else is going to step in and do
yeah,
that job.
Yeah,
Like, you
I
got to
agree
pop
with
up
that. I agree with that.
for 4 months. I can't
Yeah,
pop up telling you how to run your household because you're going to tell me get out of my face. So
exactly,
at a
yeah,
certain point, you
exactly,
got to gut check. If you want to have that mutual respect and all of that stuff. And back to my earlier point, right? The reason why you and Erica's husband were cool is because you
hmm
and Erica had separate ties. So when he came around, you
hmm
wasn't feeling heartbroken or betrayed or anything
nah,
like that. There
nah,
wasn't any emotion. So you can
nah,
sit down and have a conversation with him.
yeah,
Like, all
yeah,
right, bro, like you still my kid, this is what I expect. I'm cool with you. Like, I
yeah,
hmm
mean, we got no beef.
right,
yeah.
But when those feelings are still floating around, when you still sneak messing
right,
around, when you still doing
right,
all of that
right.
stuff,
It's a different
like,
story.
I mean, and y'all got into an argument in what we in April. Y'all got into an argument in February. She pop up in April with a boyfriend. Yes, you probably will feel some kind of
Right.
way because you know what
We
I'm
was
saying.
in
Like,
sleep together.
we're
Right.
together. So like, I think a lot of the onus falls on yourself, and you got to look in the mirror sometimes
Yeah.
and check yourself and say, like, what am I doing?
Right.
What am I doing? How am I bothering that she feels comfortable? Like, because that's what to woman's credit, to a mother's credit. If you're involved in that kid's life, she's
Mm-hmm.
gonna respect the duty that you play, the role that you play.
hmm
Like
Never.
the only way
Exactly.
somebody can take your place, the only way somebody that can do your role
Is
is
if
if
you give
you're
them
not
room
doing
to.
it yourself.
Yeah.
If
You
you
got
leave
And
it.
I'm
that
gonna
door
tell you.
open. So like we don't have no problems, guys, 'cause we're there for our kids. And I know
Oh
Tyson,
yeah.
your situation was
It was a little messed
different.
up.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
situation was a little messed up, and that's another conversation. I don't want to dig too much into
No,
that.
no, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
do,
We ain't going too much.
'cause we talked about it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like generally speaking, if you're there, if you're consistently involved, if you're
hmm
not messing with them, if you've dealt with the emotions surrounding the breakup, if like it's going to be a season, after a
Yeah.
breakup. My brother told me this before. He said, like you're not going to go from breaking up with someone to being best friends with them the next
No.
week. It's a
No.
process.
Never.
It's
No.
really
Yeah.
on. It's gonna be rough. That's an adjustment period. You go from that
Yeah.
period. I see you every day. I wake up with you every day. I'm fixing you breakfast every morning. I kiss you before I leave to work. To trying to work out some schedule with them where their schedule isn't interrupted, their typical routine. Somebody got to take the back burner. One of the parents has to take the back burner when a breakup happens.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, and while I don't agree with this, unfortunately, it typically is the father who ends up taking the back burner. It's typically the
Right.
father who ends
Right.
up
Yeah.
moving out, getting a little smaller apartment somewhere, who
hmm
ends up
Mm-hmm.
losing the kids on the weekend and things like that. And that's a
Right.
painful, painful thing to go through. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's another episode
Definitely.
Yeah.
in itself.
Yeah.
That
That's a
we
whole nother
really start.
discussion.
I don't want to dig too much in that, but that's a painful thing to go to.
Oh
And
yeah.
for my mothers who may be watching this, if you've gone through a breakup with the parent of your child, especially if they were there every day, or especially if they had a different kind of access, like even if
hmm
you guys didn't live together, like when I was with my son's mom, I had access at any moment to say, "Hey, I'm coming over there," and I could
Right.
stay for however long I wanted to stay
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and go home whenever I felt like going home. When that access starts to change, it's painful because you
Right.
miss your kids too. You want to
Yeah.
kiss your kids too.
Yeah.
You want to hug them too. I used to
Mm-hmm.
love walking into the house and having Reese run over to me. And to
Right.
not always have the
Oh my
freedom to
God.
do that,
Right.
it hurts.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
That's
when
big
you're
facts.
thinking about those things, like there's obviously going to be a frictional period because a change isn't easy. Change ain't easy. I posted on my page last week. Changing ain't easy. It's really not an easy thing to go through. And we're creatures of habit. Like we're
That's
creatures of
definitely
routine. We all drive. You all get to that point where you're in your neighborhood and you probably can't even remember where you're going because you done drove that road so many times. Like you don't
right.
even know how you got from
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Like sometimes I don't even know how I get home from work because like I'm so used to doing it. Like
Right.
I swear to goodness, I was in a car accident like 2 years, yeah, last year maybe, and
hmm
I couldn't even tell you what happened because I was in like a familiar route, so I was kind of like just driving the route, and like a car pops in front of me. I'm like, oh shucks, I hit him, and like it turns out he ran the light, and that's what happened. But I just remember being in autopilot, right?
Right.
And then
Right.
when you got to go in the manual control, it's a little rough. So
Yeah.
that's it. All right, I'm gonna move the conversation forward for the sake of time.
Yes, sir.
Um, what do you guys feel is the hardest thing about balancing fatherhood with dating?
Um, for me, really just honestly, I mean, time really, and it's not necessarily just my time. Like I said, my girl has kids; she works full time. Um, so it's really trying to balance time with, I know she knows that, I love her. I know that she loves me and everything like that. It's just that she's busy, she has kids, I'm busy, I have kids, and she works on weekends. She has a second job, but she works on weekends. So, we go out during the week. Now, I don't have an issue with any of that. You know what I mean? Like, we going out to dinner either later this week or next week. And I don't, you know what I mean? I don't have a problem going out during the week with her. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely that time aspect. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna agree, and I'm gonna also put to it building a relationship with them in a sense of more of a physical aspect with it, like actually being next to them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And not because I know I'm not into that right now, but I envision that when I do get into it, the time I
Right.
spend with my kids and the balance of it, and balancing the fatherhood with dating another person, I can envision is going to be definitely stressful getting physical time with this person. We could
Right.
talk on the phone all day, that's nothing,
Right.
but to
Right.
actually interact with each other and me being, and also I think it'll be afraid for them to grow more distant and not want to even be involved with me no more. I think that'll be a hardship for me too.
Right.
I mean, it'll same time, but it's like, yeah, I mean, if I'm feeling a person and they don't actually get to physically see me as often,
Mm-hmm.
they'll probably wayward or go somewhere else, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that goes back to that understanding thing, but I feel exactly what you mean, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's more of a fear, you know?
I agree with y'all. Like, I think that time, balancing that time aspect. So, like, you figure you're dating, even if you don't have any kids and stuff, and then you gotta figure out, I want to spend enough time with the kids, but
Right.
I also got to spend enough time with myself to make sure I'm in a good mental state. Then
Right.
I got work, and then I got, just the
Right.
responsibilities of life. And then, there's also that whole thing that, like it or not, we are always conscious of how we're making the kids mother feels, even in some aspects. So it's always like, dang man, like because my daughter's mom used to hit me often with the same thing that you were saying earlier about like, I don't want you to bring my daughter around anybody I don't need. And one day I let play it out to her. I said, that's impossible.
Right.
Like we legit don't move in the same circles.
Right.
Like you're not going to meet
Right.
everybody around. Like plain and simple. And
Right.
also, I'm not going out of my way. Like, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to like be like, hey, I have this new girl that I'm dating. I'm about to introduce her to
Exactly.
Arian,
Exactly.
but let me stop by your house first so that you can meet
Right.
her first. And then there's also the aspect of, right, then what? Like, if I introduce you to her and you're like, I don't like her, but I'm going to say, oh,
Right.
well, my
It's not gonna
daughter's
change
mom
nothing.
doesn't like you, so we won't work out. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, that sounds crazy if you think of it like
Yeah.
that. But I think just still being conscious of being respectful with them though is a big thing, right? So I do try to like look, they're amazing women. You know what I'm saying? And we've had our differences and we've
Right.
had our ups and downs, but similar to what you were saying earlier, while like the kids, the mothers of my children are amazing women. And I
Oh yeah.
trust that they love the kid as much as I do. And if they love my kid as much as I do, then I know that they won't do anything to put them in harm's way.
Exactly.
Like plain and simple. And that's kind of, where I am with it, with
Right.
everything like that. So I try to be respectful of them because another thing, um, the way my daughter is treated is going to be based on how I treat her mom. Let me say
Right.
that again for
Right.
somebody who might be watching. The way my daughter is treated when she becomes of age to date is going to be based off of how she saw me treat her mom. So
Right.
if I'm treating her mom disrespectfully, mean,
You
rude,
don't think
she's
it's
going to
cool.
think that it's okay
Right.
for her to be treated like that. And I don't want her to believe that. So I don't care how angry I am at my daughter's mom. I will not curse at her. I will not raise my voice at her. Like I won't do any of that stuff because I don't want my daughter to think that it's okay. Likewise for my son.
I agree.
Like likewise for my son, the way I treat his mom is how he's gonna think it's okay to treat women. You know, like him or not. Like I still want him to know that it's like there's certain things that you don't do to a woman. So I'm very mindful of the way that I treat the mothers of my children, regardless of what our relationship status is. And, you know, to bring the conversation back to the beginning, that becomes an issue sometimes, right? Because like I'll meet somebody and they're like, oh my gosh, like, why are you so nice to your kids' moms? Why are you this way? And I'm like,
right. And they think y'all still sleeping together.
Right. Like it's not because I'm still interested, it's because like that. Like I don't want my daughter to walk around be getting cursed out and told that she a B and all these other things. Because she do it. Now I'm trying to fight I'm 40-something years old trying to fight some 17-year-old boys and calling my daughter a B because I done called her mom a B for the last 17 years.
Right.
Like I mean, and she didn't think that she didn't have that self-worth. So that's kind of how I feel about that.
I feel the same way, bro, especially with my boys. I mean, a bad habit that I need to start checking myself with Kyle mom, because she calls me a lot of times to argue and he'll be within earshot. And I you know, we've had that conversation before and I'm like, yo, like if you gonna call me with a disagreement, don't call me when he's sitting right there. You think he's not paying attention, he's paying attention. So, you know, what I've been doing whenever, you know, I have a disagreement with her and we end up arguing or whatever, is I talk to him and I let him know, like, listen, you know, me and your mom are having a disagreement or whatever. It don't have anything to do with you. I don't want you to think you did something wrong or anything like that. You know, your mom means well, your mom loves you and everything like that. It's just me and your mom disagree about this. You know what I'm saying? And just give them a quick little explanation. Which I think is another thing parents need to do more of with their kids. You know, do a little more explaining. I know how we grew up. Parents wasn't explaining nothing. You gonna do it and you gonna shut up. You know what I mean? If you don't do it, you gonna get popped. So you know, I'm very pro beat your kids. If your kids do something beat worthy, but I'm also very pro talk to your kids. Let them understand, yo, what you did was wrong. I'm not having it. You know what I'm saying? This is why I'm not having it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't beat your kids. I'm just saying, you know, you can give them a little explanation after you beat them. You know what I mean? But yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's
you see the way I talk to my daughter, like you hear it all the time. One day you heard me flat out like yell at her for doing something wrong. But at the end of it, I was like, remember though, daddy loves you.
Right.
And I remember you said to me after I did it, you was like, I think it's real dope how you end that with I still love you. Come give me a hug, come give me a kiss.
Like, you gotta let them know.
Discipline. You let them know this is coming from a space of love.
You gotta let them know.
Of, you know, I'm mad. Like I don't even know what you did, but I know I went off on her about something. But at the end, I was like, all right, come give me a hug and give me a kiss. I love you. I'm not mad at you. I just don't want you to continue doing this.
Right.
You know,
and it's dope to see you do that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's letting her know I messed up, but daddy don't hate me. You know what I'm saying? Like daddy still loves me. And I do the same thing with Kyle. Like Kyle being autistic, he's a little more emotional sometimes with a lot of, because he takes everything like straight up and down. Like he doesn't have those gray areas that we all have. So when I say stuff to him, he takes everything super literal. Like a lot of, like for a while, he would say something and it was fun. It'd be funny, so I would laugh. He would think that I was laughing at him. And for a while, I would have to explain to him after I laugh, because he would be like, Dad, why you laughing? And I would see, you know, like he was kind of hurt in his eyes. I would have to talk to him about it. So, you know, explaining to him after he does something, yo, you know, what you did was not nice. I still love you. You still my guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you to think, you know, that I'm mad at you or anything like that, but you can't do what you just did. I know I yelled at you because I didn't like what you did. You can't do that. You can't be this. Like he told his grandma the other day to shut up. So, you know, I checked him. You know what I'm saying? Now we was on PlayStation on the headset. So I checked him, dude, don't do that. And then I video called him after that. he got off the game. I video called him after that, and I told him, you can't do that. That's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? But like I made sure, daddy loves you. You
Right.
know what I mean? You're my guy. Daddy cares about you. Daddy just don't like when you're being disrespectful. You can't do that. Like, that's an adult and you're a child. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's that. Like, when you did that, bro, that joint, like, it's dope to see parents do that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
It's real, real
Especially
dope.
being in
Like,
the grocery store, right? And you see mom wabbing on the son in the grocery store. And then just like, now come on over here. And the little
right,
boy sitting there
right,
crying. And then she
right,
yelling at him for crying. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Little kid crying and
right.
he yelling for crying. And it's like, that's how you create trauma, man. And I'm about
Exactly,
breaking up. It's not creating
exactly,
more.
exactly.
One more thing that I struggle with, I will say, with adults, with balancing fatherhood and dating, it takes a lot of patience to father the way that I do with my kids. Cause like, Lord knows, sometimes these in area and work my last nerve. So like, I felt that sometimes when meeting new people, I've been very, very, very impatient
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are times where I'm like, I don't got time for this, man. Like, or like, I'm very quick to dismiss. Like, if I feel like their interest isn't sparking quick enough, I remove myself really quickly. That's a personal struggle with me, especially
Hmm.
with Reese being nonverbal since we doesn't talk. Like, if
Right,
we don't do well with hints with adults in general, male or female,
right,
like.
right,
Cause like I'm like I gotta guess what Reese is trying to say.
right,
Like
right,
I'm like I gotta guess it. So
right,
like if you're an adult that's verbal, I kind of feel like use your voice to talk because can't guess with adults. I gotta guess with my son. Like
right.
so that's another thing. So last question, and you guys can get thoughts about this and then we'll get on out of here. What advice would you give to a newly single father? Ty, what advice would you give to a newly single father?
I would say before you get angry, before you get mad, or anything of that nature, or anything regarding you or her. I know your separation, the feelings that get involved, whatever. You have to remember the kid comes first and foremost
Hmm.
at all times. Don't you gotta even if you gotta take yourself back. I don't care what she did, whatever, and you vice versa. As far as men, we don't always make the best decisions either. So you gotta take your step back and look at the value and what the kid needs
Right,
first.
right, right. Um, Me, the first thing I'm gonna tell him is stop having sex with her
Mm,
right off the bat.
mm,
You gotta stop having sex with her.
mm,
Um, Secondly, like Ty said, um, like you gotta like you gotta you get the child comes first. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of anything, the child comes first. Um, being I'm a little bit older, and I've been through the situation more than once. So the most important things are stop. You got to stop having sex with her. You got to remember that child comes first. Um, you have to give her time.
mm,
She's going to be very upset, especially if y'all was in a long-term relationship. She's going to be very upset. You have to give her time. You have to be respectful. If she calls you arguing and everything like that, just say, listen, I understand what you're saying, but I'm trying to have a conversation with you. Can I call you back once you calm down a little bit? You know what I'm saying? It's easier to say than it is to do. You know what I mean? But once y'all get to that point where y'all can talk things out, it's a beautiful situation.
mm,
When y'all can talk about what the child needs, what's going on with the child, and keep everything very cordial to where you can go get your child whenever. You know what I'm saying? She can call you whenever that child needs something. You know what I mean? It's a great situation. So
That's it.
definitely, you know what I mean? Definitely be patient with her, give her some time to get herself together. Stop having sex with her. And that baby definitely comes first. That
mm.
baby comes first.
Yeah,
So, you
and
know what I mean?
I agree with everything you guys say. I'll add, there is one big thing I always tell anybody who's thinking about breaking up, man. It is more beneficial for a child to see two healthy households than
Exactly.
one toxic
And
household.
one terrible one. Yep.
Right. So like I would rather like typically if you guys are breaking up 95% of the time it's because the relationship had
Right.
went at some point and it just was a irreconcilable difference. It's like
Right.
95% of the time.
Right.
In those cases, like, is that really the environment? Like, we think about generational curses. We think about like generational traumas? Like, do you want to pass them down, or do you want to
break them.
like you understand, like, see, oh, mom, dad and stepmom are healthy over here, and mom and stepdad are healthy over here, and
Right.
they come together for my games, and it's nice and
Right.
cordial. Nice and
Right.
cool. So that's
Right.
one thing advice I would give. Another thing I will give, and this is something that I think needs to be said. Man, you're still the leader even in the breakup. And what I mean by that is she's
Mhm.
gonna go over your energy. She might try you every now and then, like early
Right.
on, but once she
Right.
kind of learns, like, no, this isn't like you're not gonna talk to me this way. Like
Right.
this isn't okay to do. Like that's not okay to do. I had a situation really early when me and my son's mom split up. This may be like 7 or 8 months after we broke up, and I'm was dating somebody else, and yeah, I know that the church. The girl asked me where we were only talking for like a week, and I was telling her about everything I did at the church, and she was like, "I want to go to church with you." At the time, my son's mom went to church, so part
Mm.
of me is like, "No, I don't want you to come to church with me." But then part of me is like, I can't tell somebody they can't come to church.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
How you don't come get the Lord?
Sounds so bad.
Like, to make a long story shortly, the girl ends up coming, and it would end up being a different service than where my son's mom was. But on the way out, she was coming in, so she saw me walking out, walking the girl to her car,
Mhm.
and she was like coming in. She goes off on me, like legit, like goes off on me. Not in that moment, but like as soon as church ended, like going off on me. Like, I can't believe you moved on.
Yeah.
This whole spiel, and
Yeah.
like in that moment, it's like I can get into a back and forth. She was shouting match and
Right.
everything like that. But at
Right.
the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We broke up. We broke
Right.
up. We're not
Right.
together anymore. Like, we can point who did who hurt who most, but where's that going to get us? Ultimately, this is what happens when you break up. This is what happens when you break up. And to a newly single father, that's what I would say. Like, there's certain things that come with you break up. You got to accept that someone else is going to be around your kids. You got
Yeah.
to accept that you're going to have to bring someone else around your kid. You got to accept that there's going to be a real rocky, probably year. Like that first year
Yeah.
is going to be pretty
Yeah.
rocky,
Yeah.
adjusting to it.
Yeah.
But like you're still the leader in all of that. So you set the barometer.
Gotta
So if
set the
you're
time.
going
Yeah.
to, she knows how to push your button.
Yep.
Right, bro. This is what I want to
Yep.
say to you. She still knows how to push your buttons, and she's going to push them. She's going to, but you have to be bigger. You have to be
Right.
stronger. You have to be able to say, I'm not arguing with you. You got it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. And
Yeah.
like you got to be able to just chalk some stuff, let some stuff go. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause like y'all said earlier, the kid is what matters the most. The kid is what matters the most in all of this stuff. So you got to set the standard of what it is that you want to be. So, like you said, WAP, you can't be having sex with them. You can't
Nah.
be dibbling and dabbling here. Like, like if y'all done, like
If y'all
like
done, then y'all gotta be
sometimes,
done.
I've dropped one of my kids off, and their mom came to the door like in like booty shorts and like a see-through t-shirt. And I sit there and I'm like, let me turn around and walk right out of here because I
Right.
already know like this isn't even conducive. Like whatever I had to say to her, I'm calling because if I stay in here and
Right.
talk to you, then I
Right.
know where my mind is going to go.
Right.
Like so you
Right.
had to set that standard.
Right.
Like you have to set that standard. Like you can't wait for her to do it. And then lastly, I would just let them know, man, like it's not the end of the world. It's not.
Nah.
No,
You know what I'm
definitely
saying?
not.
It's definitely not.
It's literally
It's definitely not.
I thought it was.
You know,
like there's a lot of
it's
kids who have had healthy lifestyles. There are a lot of
yeah.
people who have been raised kids who have a mom over here and a dad over here who have
Right.
an amazing relationship with mom, with dad, with stepmom, and with
Right.
stepdad.
Right.
And it's not the end of the world, man. So
Nah,
that's the advice that I would give.
it's not. I mean, I know a lot of dudes. I know for me, it was rough. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that first year is it was really, really rough. You know what I mean? You feel like a lot of you feel like she might be bad mouthing you to the kid or bad mouthing you around your child. You have to realize that regardless of what goes on in that house, when your child is with you, you show them the love that they need. You give them the attention that they need. You know what I'm saying? Your child will always know who you really are, regardless of what the other parent says. That's the biggest thing that I can tell a new father. Your
Mhm.
child will always know who you are, regardless of what that other parent says.
Mm, mm,
Regardless,
mm.
you
Shoot,
And
don't
that's
have
what,
to.
and
You
don't
don't
give
have
them
to
nothing
argue
to
with her,
comfort them, bro.
bro.
Don't give them nothing. That's why I said earlier, you got to gut check yourself sometimes. Like if they going bad mouth you,
Listen.
don't give
It's
them nothing.
sometimes there's sometimes where the woman is just mad about whatever, and she may say some stuff just out of spite, or just because she's angry, or just because she can't take it out on the person she wants to take it out on. So you call. She tries to take it out on you.
Mhm.
It's nothing you can't really do anything about her attitude. She has to change that. What you can do is show your child who you are, regardless of what's going on, regardless of what's happening. If you loving your child and you there for your child, after a while, your child is gonna be like, "Mom, you saying my dad don't love me, but my dad always tell me he love me. He always giving me hugs. He always picking me up. He always doing it. He always doing." Your child, kids see. Parents don't always think they kids see, but kids see, even if they don't say anything. Your child will all new fathers that's breaking up out of the relationship with somebody they have a child with. Your child will always know who you are. Now that goes both ways. If you're a bad dad, your child will always know who you are. If you're a
Mhm.
good dad, your child will always know who you are.
I agree. I agree.
Nobody can change your child's heart about who you are to them except you.
Right.
Sheesh.
Right. And I agree wholeheartedly with that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, man? I am very mindful when I drop my kids off. And I'll say this before I let people go because I know we're running long right now. But I'm very mindful when I drop my kids off
Mhm,
um, to not give an inaccurate time frame of when I'll see you again. So like
mhm,
if I drop Reese off to his mom and I
mhm,
know I'm going to come over to see him on Tuesday, I'll say, hey, I'll see you Tuesday. But if I
mhm,
know I'm not going to see him on Tuesday, I'm not going
mhm.
to say, all right, son,
I
I'll see
see
you
you.
I'll see you tomorrow or I'll see you Tuesday. Like
Right,
I'm very mindful
right,
because you create that
right,
disappointment. So like I
right.
think that, a lot of this thing doesn't come from mom, contrary to popular belief. Like you said, well, they're going to know who you are regardless.
Wireless. Yep.
Um, I think a lot of this thing comes from those disappointments. If you're calling
Mhm.
and saying, hey, yeah, I want to come over and pick you up, and then you never show up.
Right, right.
Like,
And
It is. That's a pet peeve.
Todd,
real
give me
quick to
Todd,
piggyback
give
off
me your
what you
final
just
thought when you done.
real, real quick to piggyback off what you just said with the time thing. The biggest thing for me with anybody was them saying they was gonna come and get me and not coming.
Mm,
Mhm.
Now, I know it's rough for a lot of parents to explain something to their kids than to just let it go. But explaining to that child goes a longer way than not saying anything. So if you're not gonna, if you say you're gonna come get that child and something comes up, regardless of what it is, tell the child. Tell the child. Always tell the child. You know what I'm saying? I hate when I make plans with my boys and I can't do it for whatever reason. Even with Lil, he grown. He much rather chill with his friends and all that. Like we still have time, we still hang out and stuff like that. But even like he'll say, "Dad, can you take me to the gym? Dad, can you take me driving?" I hate to tell him, "Yeah," and then something comes up and I can't do it, and then I don't tell him that I can't do it. I have to tell him, "Yo, son, I can't do it today," for whatever the reason is. But yeah, definitely let them know. You know what I mean? If you can't do it, let them know. Try to be as consistent as possible with your kids. They will always again know who you are, regardless. They will always know. So
Y'all some good
Todd,
brothers,
give me your
man.
final thoughts, bro.
Huh?
Todd, give me your final thoughts about the topic.
The topic and the final thoughts of it. Last thing I would say is get your get your priorities in order too as a single father.
hmm
That's another final thoughts. You can't depend. You break up with her and you ain't got nothing for your kid. You don't know the uh social. You don't know none of that. You don't even know the size of their shoes. So
hmm
that's my final thoughts of it as well. Like with everything we're saying, you have to become a better man with that as well.
yeah,
So you're a newly single father.
yeah.
That's good, man. I don't even got no follow up for that, man. Look, thank
Something.
you for coming on, man. Like sometimes it ain't like you do, like it's not. And I get it. I will say that sometimes the mothers of our children can be difficult,
Hmm.
but again, a lot of it is on us as well.
Oh, of course,
And
I
that's
agree.
why
I agree. I
and that's
agree.
why I say we set the barometer. Yes, early
Yeah,
on is going to be tough,
yeah.
but eventually you guys get to a functional state. You get
Hmm.
to a state where we'll sit down, work on the schedule that fits both of you guys and not
Hmm.
just her, right? Work on one conversation I had to have with my son's mom recently was I said, sometimes I don't feel like we're team son. Like I feel like we're team you.
Right,
Like the three of us, we revolve around what it is that you want to do, what it is that your
right,
schedule. So let's pull back from revolving around you and let's work to be team him.
right.
And like she was very receptive of it. You know what I'm saying? So she was very,
That's
very,
key
very
too.
receptive of that
That's
approach.
key.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
key.
So it's a lot of gut checking, a lot of maturity on
Yeah.
both ends.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's kind of what I'll leave you guys with. Bob, you got any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, man. I think I said everything that I needed to say for the most part on the subject, man. Um, just be the dad you wanted when you was little. Basically, be the
Yes.
dad you wanted when you was little.
And if you can't, wrap it up. Wrap it
Right,
up.
right.
Wrap that Jimmy. Get
Wrap
that
it
Jimmy hat.
up,
Wrap it up.
man.
Yo,
Listen,
Bro,
don't
that's
do
a
it if
listen.
great
you
topic.
can't.
I ain't gonna get into that. Yo, I promise y'all watching. I'm going to do a subject about sex very soon. I just gotta figure out what direction I want to go in with it. Right? That's gonna be something that I talk about. Like
Bro,
that's gonna be something I
listen.
talk about.
It's real out here.
Right.
Man.
Guys, thank y'all for watching, man. We will be back in 2 weeks. 2 week date from now is April the 21st. On April the 21st, we're going to be talking about special needs parenting. It's Autism Awareness Month, and I will be remiss if I didn't come up here and share what it's like to be a parent of a kid with special needs. So that'll be April 21st. We'll be back with that subject. Um, Thank y'all for watching, man. Like this was an amazing conversation. I know we ain't had the same tech difficulties, man, and the conversation just flowed really, really well. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming out, man. Again, we'll be talking about special needs parenting. A good friend of mine, Buddy Hall, I believe is going to come on. There, I have another brother who hosts the Awesome podcast that I'm trying to get to come on as well for that subject. And we'll talk about this is nitty gritty that is special needs parenting and things along this line. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank y'all for coming out. Again, any donations you want to send could be sent to Cash App, $ my brother, my brother.
I
You
got
guys can
$2.
WAP on Instagram at Black Pop WAP. IT guy, any computer issues, hit him up. That's your guy. Ty is on Instagram, Gentleman Bartender Ty. Any bartending gigs, any bartending events, hit him up. I don't even know what else you do, Ty. You want to tell me what else you do? I don't want to put you out there for something that you ain't going to do it on.
I
I
know
know
my
some of you what you do.
I'm actually even branching off. I'm thinking about doing a workout line. I ain't gonna like as far as like that's coming in the works. I'm gonna let that go. But other than that, private events, anything you need before I come to GQ and I come to serve you. That's what I do for my bartender.
My man.
So that's my guy, man. So thank y'all for coming in, man. We gonna
You
sign
already
off.
know, man.
I shall see y'all in 2 weeks. I'm out of here. Peace.